I'm going live.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you're taking way too long to do a simple task.
Yeah, it's weird. The desktop version's changed since I've used it last.
Oh, yeah.
Chats.
Okay.
There it is. There we go.
We are live. I'm going to pause this. We have got an excellent connection on our end. If you were here for the last live stream, you may realize that we tried to get up and going, and it just would not do it. And so we had to literally, it was the first time, I think, in law-abiding biker history where we're just like, we can't do this live stream. So we shut it down. I'm getting a weird glare. Hang on. Hopefully that fixed. Yeah, that fixed it.
It wasn't your Halo?
Yeah, it was. It was my Halo. Yeah. So we had a hell of a time. So I have worked feverishly over the past 2 days, a lot of stress, all kinds of computers and software we're running here in the studio and different switchers and mixers. And we just could not get a live stream. YouTube just wouldn't accept it. And finally, late last night, I got home after we were working at the store all day, and I just went at it for like 4 hours and did multiple tests. And again, I'm very pleased, if you can see the smile on my face, that you guys are saying it's all working. You can hear and see us, and YouTube, by all accounts here, is telling me that we got a legit, excellent, high definition 1080p stream going, and all is well. So
you got a good stream finally.
I got a good stream.
Jake Moritz says, "Hey, it's working."
Yeah.
So that's good. That's patron Jake Moritz in the private chat here. If you're listening to this later on in podcast form, these are our patron members that are joining us for this live.
Yeah.
It's one of the benefits of being a mid-level and above patron.
Yeah, buddy. Although for the, you cut all this out for the, don't you?
No, I leave it in.
This? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I leave it in. I leave a lot of it in because it's
cool.
It's just, I think it's
I haven't listened to one for a while.
Yeah. I think it's good for the listening audience to see
it is
what benefits the patrons get.
I agree.
So I tend to leave most of this in the beginning.
Nice. Bob Dawson, thank you. Live video broadcast and chat for our patron members. Sorry, we were about 7 minutes behind on top of all the other issues we had. I switched a new laptop, the main podcast laptop, right before, and I was trying to get software on it. It's been, just happens. It's a lot of tech stuff, a lot of changes. But yeah, good. Okay. So with that said, we will, now that we got everything. So what I was saying about that's why we ran about 7 minutes late, because I almost had to switch back to the previous laptop because I didn't have everything loaded, but we got it. So this is official test, right here, live with the new, laptop and everything. So, all right. With that said, we appreciate you guys being in chat, and we will be monitoring as much as possible and see if we can get a couple conversations go. This is kind of a lackadaisical episode. Should be a lot of fun. Just a bunch of bikers hanging out here on a Friday afternoon from all over the world. Very cool. James Hawthorne, Jake Moritz, Bob Dawson, Henry Happ, some names in there, Edward Lake. We got people joining. Very good. Thank you, patron members, for being in there. With that said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Lurch, I believe you have an email.
Yeah, this is a very recent email. We just got this one, so very timely. This one's from Dave McCall. Here's what he had to say. Fellas, you were doing a recap episode recently, and one of your crew was cutting up about stuff you get exposed to throughout the country. Come and Go gas station was mentioned by someone, and they wish they had gotten a mug or something. Where should I mail this? And he has a picture of a Come and Go mug. He's going to send that mug to the store. And that was Popeye. His wife wanted a Come and Go cup if we could find it. And on our way out, we stopped at a couple and just couldn't really find anything. And then on my way back, I couldn't find anything. The merch was just kind of low on the Come and Go mugs. But Dave McCall, he's got a mug and he's shipping it to us. So thank you so much for that, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. And Lurch says immediately when he gets it, he's going to fill it, the Come and Go mug. But talking to his old lady, going to take about 6 months. Shooting a lot of blanks these days. So
I'm getting old.
But thank you so much, Dave McCall. He just simply went over to lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Very easy to drop us a fun email. And if you want to drop us a gift like that, that's really cool too. Again, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave an email. of course, as he did, or you can leave right from there, whether you go there on your phone or whether you go there on your desktop, free. Use the microphone built into your device, and you can leave us a beloved voicemail. And because we love to hear your beautiful voices, you can even hack on us a little bit. We don't even mind that. We're pretty thick-skinned. Or you can just give us a good joke. But nonetheless, if you want to send something to us, we do have the permanent address now. It is the store address. It is 3302 Main Street. That's 3302 Main Street, Union Gap. 2 words, Union Gap, Washington, 98903 is where he's going to end up sending that to us. And we appreciate that very much. When we get it, we will share it on an episode so you guys can see our new come and go. And I will display it before Alert starts trying to fill it so that I don't have to touch his nastiness.
I'm not filling it because it's for Mrs. Popeye.
Oh, it's for Mrs. Okay, well, there's even better reason to fill it.
She was the one looking for one. When Lee and I drove out, the bikes out to our summer trip, we were looking for one, just didn't find anything. And on the way back, I was able to find one because I took a different route on the way back, so there weren't as many of them. And the place I stopped at didn't have jack shit for merch.
Well, even a better reason to fill it because I want to see Popeye completely obliterate you. That would be fun.
Okay.
Lurch is like, okay, whatever. Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products, as you know, for your Harley Davidson, and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing, named Gold Strike, because we got patron member Russell Roberts rolling on a Goldwing. Mark Arnold rolling on a Goldwing, and I know there's a lot of others in the community. Very cool. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Lurch.
Yes, sir.
Has got some stuff he wants to talk to you about since he's so heavily involved in the Law Abiding Biker store these days.
Yeah, we've got some new items in the store. Alpine Stars rain gear. We've got, it's the Hurricane rain gear, and there's a couple different options. There's some color options. You can have the high-vis green or black or a combination thereof. And we've got a jacket and pant set, or if you want to try the overalls, we've got the overalls, and you've got a set of the overalls. You're going to start testing those out and see how you like it. But good rain gear, affordable price. We're pretty lucky here in Eastern Washington. We don't get a whole lot of rain. But once you've been caught in it once, you learn. So I've got my rain gear with me all the time. It packs down into a small compartment, a little bag, and you can stuff it in your saddlebag. Always have that stuff with you. We also, there's been an issue with Deltran, the battery tender juniors, just getting them. Don't know what the hell the issue is, but all the distributors are sold out on them. So we started looking for another battery tender that was as good or better. And we found the Optimate battery tenders. We've got 2 models in the store. There's one that's pretty much a direct, and these are also lithium and lead acid capable, so they're combos. But we wanted a direct replacement. We've got one of those. And then we've got one, it's a few more bucks, that can actually recover a dead battery. So if it's completely zapped, a lot of them, if it's under 4 volts, the tenders won't get it going again. This model will get, I think it's down like 2 volts. So it can be pretty much almost dead, and it'll, if it can, it will bring it back to life.
Yeah, these seem good quality, and our rep definitely highly recommends them. Obviously, he's not just a rep for that, but says literally after many, many years, they've got one back, and it was some weird issue. Other than that, these things are legit. We wanted to bring something quality that we trust, that we can, something that we can definitely recommend to you guys.
Something weird going on?
Yeah, just making sure you're in focus, not your laptop. So good quality, guys. And the Tender Juniors, obviously we'll sell those alongside them, but these are literally the same price. And in my opinion, so far, I believe you're going to get a better product. It's what I'm going to replace. Interestingly, just the track record of them is what I'm trying to say. So they will be in the Law Abiding Biker store, and on that rain gear, that's what I'm using now. I just haven't got to do a video on the Alpine Stars rain gear. Again, coverall, or a one piece, and then we're selling the 2-piece. I'm going with the 1-piece for my bike. That's what's in the saddlebag. But if you do like the 2-piece, that's there too. And I will be doing a complete video on it, going over it, but it's very reasonable, and it's got the Alpine Stars name. I mean, everything we're selling that is Alpine Stars is just the highest build quality and stitching. It's been around forever, and we have access to so much of it. And as you can see, I'm wearing today one of my beloved Alpine Stars sweatshirt that we're selling in the store, but it's just great stuff. And if you're local, we got a lot in stock of the rain gear. So swing by. We got some different colors, if I remember right. Yep. So as usual, we're trying to source stuff that we like, trust, know, not just everything that we could throw at you, because we have access to anything the big boys do. It does take time to get it all listed, of course, but the main thing is I try to source really good stuff. Instead of like 50 different kinds of rain gear, I try to narrow it down and do a couple really good ones. I think that helps with the shopping process too, that it's kind of been vetted by us, so to speak, and it's going to be something you're going to like. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on over there in the store, and make sure you get over there. And I will announce that I have gotten Lurch in the Christmas spirit. So if you're local, swing by, because I have had Lurch, and I did a lot of the work too. Thank you. We have a assload of Christmas lights, and I know some of your local Bob there, Dawson, and we did lights around every single window on the inside, along all the south wall. I did lights in the back room where we work and where my desk is, and
where
all that.
Elves work?
Where the elves work, yeah. I've got a lot of lights back there. We've got a Christmas tree. I've got ornaments coming, and the ornaments are all different models and makes of bikes. And it's very festive in there. We've got a garland coming for the front door, but we're lighting up the whole neighborhood. Let me tell you that, because nobody can keep up with us. But yeah, stop by. It's very festive in there. And one of the requirements coming up.
No.
Yep.
I know what you're going to say.
Is that Lurch.
Nope.
I'm buying him a Santa hat.
Not wearing it.
And he must greet all customers in a Santa hat.
Nope.
Or he does not get any more free beers from the company.
Oh,
I'm pulling his beer privileges.
Maybe I will wear it.
Lurch is like, all right, I'm in.
I was out, and now you got me back in.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, stop by, guys. But tons of stuff going on. We are just killing it, working as hard as we can. Oscar too, in the store. So yeah, check the website. Want to ride longer, Lurch?
You know I do.
Are you tired of a sore and achy ass?
Always.
Well, yeah, your ass is always sore. Fix it. In this case, with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. I suppose we got us a podcast to do. Yeah, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. You freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
There you go. Large, in charge. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
Now, we have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
There you go. Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
As previously mentioned, because I've been trying to get this, I got the wide angle going on, this whole mess of electronics and equipment and live stream and cameras. We nailed it, Lurch. We nailed it. Because apparently we're still coming through good. So
it's much more successful than our last attempt.
Yes, me and Lurch worked on it right after that live stream that went bad. And I'll tell you what, we just bouncing ideas off us. off each other's heads. And it just, So anyways, all right. And so we wanted to do it right away. We're going to push it till next week. We're like, last night I got it fixed. I said, let's do it. Let's put out an email. Let's put out a patron post. Let's go live. So this is a live video broadcast and chat, and we should have some fun here. Now, in this episode, it's pretty laid back. We may even, if we want to talk about some other stuff going on, if you guys in the chat bring up any kind of, news.
Houston's not helping. He says that I would look good in an elf costume, like a giant elf on a shelf.
Yeah, dude, totally.
That's taking it too far.
And with the green tights, dude, he needs the green. Could he wear green tights?
Me? No, I'd rather not.
Well, I think you should.
Only if you give me...
With the Santa hat.
Only if I get to put the booze in my coffee like an elf.
Of course.
Yeah.
Dude, whatever I can get to get you in that uniform, I'll liquor you up as much as possible, dude. I don't care. You're right, Houston, for sure. Thanks for being in there, by the way. Good to see you in there. So if you guys want to vote on that, we'll just take a live poll. Just yes means yes, I should require Lurch to wear a Santa hat. We'll just keep it at that for now. To wear a Santa hat when he greets every customer, or no. And I don't want to see any softies in there. Oh, I don't want to be mean to Lurch. It's not about that. This is about what I should require Lurch to do. Should he wear a Santa hat? Yes or no? And if it's overwhelmingly yes, then I will maybe even live here order a Santa hat for Lurch. He's just staring. He's like, why do you do this live to me? Oh, because
you do it on purpose because it's hard for me to argue when it's live.
It really is, dude. It's the best part of going live. Yeah, dude, look at the yeses. They're just flying in. Edward Lake, Dan LaPointe, Bob Dawson. It's Jake Breed says, since I'm placing an order soon, I say no.
Thank you, Jake.
Don't worry, I'll do your order, Jake. I'll take care of it so it makes sure and get it to you. But just keep those yeses coming in. That's what I want to see. All right, good time. Technically speaking, what we're talking about today is my new police Harley Electric Glide. Yes, you may have heard, I may have lightly mentioned it in the past. It is in service. I know it's 2024. We'll get to that. If you guys, I'm sure you're all aware, our government is less than efficient in the way it handles things, including police departments.
Hopefully in the near future here, that'll change with Doge.
We need some auditing. I'm so stoked about some auditing. But anyways, so yes, the efficiency of government, it is in service. And I want to talk about that a little bit. And I did a video on it, which I don't know, is that one of the video we're mentioning it or not? It's all right. Anyways, I did a video. It's been out on YouTube for a while now. It got a lot of hits. So if you want to put some visuals to this, I do a walk around of my new police bike, and not only, show you kind of how it comes, what is actually comes different than a standard civilian electric glide. And then of course, a bunch of products from the store that I put on it, and it's stuff that we put on. I've donated a lot of stuff over the years from Law Abiding Biker Media Inc., the company, free. That's a donation to the police department, my police department, and the police fleet. And I don't take any money. I help them install it. And there's just some things we've all used over the years that we've grown accustomed to and love to have on our police fleet of bikes. And the guys that ride them like it just as much, or they wouldn't want it on there, obviously. And a few new things that we decided to try on the bikes that I was really loving. So with that said, that's kind of where we're going to go. But if you guys bring anything up in the chat, that's fine too. If it's something we can talk about, we will, or any news going on, or anything like that, we will certainly try to get to that. So with that said, we do want to talk about, why don't you do this, Lurch? It's a new free video that's been out on the YouTube channel.
This is your 2024 Harley Street Glide breakdown, the hidden danger of lithium-ion batteries. And the link is in the show notes, or you can simply go to the website and search lithium battery and it'll pop up.
Yep. There you go. Lawabidingbiker.com/ whatever episode number this is how you get to the show notes on like a web browser or whatever app you're using, especially if you're using the Law Abiding Biker app free.
It'll be right there in the app.
Lawabidingbiker.com/app. You can download our podcast app for free, but all of them should have show notes in some fashion there that you can look at. Now, speaking of a live video broadcast and chat, I think that it would be appropriate to mention some of our newest patron members. I want to thank the following people for getting signed up and taking action.
Bill Gray of Harrisonburg, Virginia. He is top tier. Steve Magg of Milan, Ohio. Also top tier. And Greg Lawson of Bristol, Tennessee. Again, top tier.
There you go. We want to thank you guys so very much. It's very simple. Become a member by signing up for a monthly subscription, and you choose what level of benefits you want to receive. It's that easy. Now, there's 3 different levels. It'll make sense when you head over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. There are benefits, like I mentioned, depending on what level. And some of those benefits include, not limited to, t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. Nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. You get access to live video broadcasts and chat like this, access to premium videos up on request. You get store discount codes, 7 days, 365, store-wide. Every time you shop in the store, you can use your patron discount code and take advantage of that 10% off. And, of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events. We certainly appreciate you taking a moment, heading over there, considering becoming a patron member. It's easier than ever. As many of you know, we switched to recently, which is all in effect as of mid-October 24. We switched from you pay per piece of content we put out to just a flat, standard, very easy to understand monthly subscription. This level, and this level. And the higher the level you sign up for, the more benefits you get. That's as easy as it gets, right, Lurch? Mm-hmm. So that's been going really good. And I'm sure you guys have seen that we are all switched over to that.
Bob Dawson, patron member Bob Dawson in the chat says, are you going to put the come and go on the Popo bike? And he says he would volunteer to get pulled over to get a picture of it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I like it. I like it a lot. We'll just see. Well, I'd have to do it before. Apparently, it's going to Popeye's wife, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to get it to you first.
Yeah, but we will, there you go. There you go. I like that idea, Bob, very much. All right, so let's go through. We got some show notes somewhere here. Oh, yeah, I guess, I should have probably had that open. Oh, this is good. And then I'll open that one too.
Yep, got one of each for you.
Oh, we got to go back and forth, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of works best that way.
So basically to get started here, guys, and again, we'll be monitoring the chat as much as we can here. So some of you may know, so back in like June of 23, we went over to Lacey, Washington. That's the dealership over there. My department, I had an 18. I had a 13 before that, then an 18, and now this was a 23. So for whatever reason, they went through that dealership. That's not my decision. That's above me. But anyways, the bikes get shipped to the factory from the factory to there. And we were over there for some training, escort training of some sort. And we picked up our 23 police bikes, June of 23. This is the efficient government part and efficient departments. So we got the bikes, we rode them back and pretty much parked them. And they sat collecting dust. Now, we were able to pull them out. They weren't set up with all our stuff, and we'll get to that. But they just had the factory police Harley package, which I'll break down a little bit for you. And so we got them out. They couldn't be used, is what I'm saying, for day-to-day patrol because they just weren't set up with what we needed. But we did train on them. here and there, and pulled them out took them to, when we have to recertify at escort school every year, took them to escort school. So we got to ride them here and there and break in the clutches. I spent time with all the bikes breaking in clutches and things like that to make sure. I did do a video on that, a very detailed video on how to properly break in your clutch. I know Bob Dawson did it because he marked in my video, I remember, of one of the hills I was on.
Yeah.
And then he
recognized it.
Yeah, I recognized. He sent a picture of him breaking it on his clutch on the same hill because he got a bike. But anyways, yeah, very informational video there. So here we are. It was actually in service. It would have been September, right? Yeah.
I think, yeah. It was
basically,
over a year.
Yeah, over a year. So basically, they just sat until we could get them over to our it's a third-party vendor. Some departments, so let me break this down. So they get the bikes, and then you've got to equip them with your stuff. And so we use a third-party vendor, like the county sheriff's office here. They use Oscar and them when he was on motors. They use their county shops to fab and do a lot of stuff, but that varies a lot throughout the nation. But we took it to a third-party vendor, and I think the bikes went in like June, I think. And they didn't get done till like September or something like that. So there you go. Nothing like a couple very expensive Harleys sitting collecting dust for over a year before we could get them in to actually get them equipped. Anybody who's worked for government realizes that the inefficiencies, and it doesn't matter what part of government it is. It's not a very well-oiled machine, and there's a lot of people that in charge of maybe too many, and nobody really making decisions or proper decisions in a lot of areas. So it just is what it is. We wanted to get them ready. We were a little frustrated that we couldn't get them ready for a year, but what do you do? I'm just a peon. And
that's true.
That's an absolute truth. Just a peon. And so we did get them in and finally got them equipped, and we'll break some of this down. And we got them, like I say, in September with all of our equipment back up. And then once you get them up and running, so to speak, there's a plethora of issues because you have different people fabbing and doing stuff. And then once they get there, they got to go to our IT for certain stuff, and nothing plays nice. And so you're back and forth to IT, to the third-party vendor, and then back to IT, and then go out on the road and try to work, and then something else, and where am I taking it now? And some things weren't put back together properly, and some things were not tight, and radio stuff. It's just a nightmare. So that's just part of the process of getting one of these things up and running. But I tell you, it's a solid machine now. All right. So let me break down kind of factory equipment, and jump in anytime here, Lurch, that you want. Some of the factory equipment and what comes standard. So when you purchase the Harley Electra Glide Police Edition, it is just essentially a regular Electra Glide that any civilian can get. All right. It does have some additional features designed for law enforcement. Now, it has the same motor. It has the same exhaust. It's not souped up. It doesn't have any special, cornering stuff. It is literally an Electra Glide, and then they slap a couple things on it as far as things we need. So here's kind of what it comes out of the factory with. This is kind of general, but it comes with red and blue emergency lights.
Do they all come with that? Is that standard when you order it? Okay.
Yep. It does come with that, integrated into the front of the bike, and they come pre-installed from Harley. You can kind of pick and choose exactly which and how many lights you want, but they're all coming with some sort of light, so to speak.
Okay.
The windshield light bar it comes with right up in the inside dash of the light bar, located behind the windshield. And then you choose your rear lighting depending on what you want there. But the bike shipped with all that stuff that we chose, that once it gets to the dealership, that gets all installed.
Okay.
So does that, yeah. Whatever you chose, that all gets installed. It takes time. Once it gets to the dealership, they have to install a lot of that stuff, like the trunk and that special slide bracket we wanted, because that's what we wanted, so the trunk slides back and forth. That's not a factory thing. That is something that I think we ordered that third party, I believe, because we saw the Lacey bikes had it and we wanted that.
What you're talking about is allowing the rear trunk to slide up to be a rider backrest. Yes. So you can bring it all the way forward, and then you as the rider can lean against it.
Yes. Because Harley, if you had that, they would just static mount it.
Right.
So we had some ideas before that we were able to work into the build, so to speak. Right.
I guess that makes sense. It's the bike's coming from the factory. They send all the extra stuff that you want to add on to it, and then the dealer, when they get it, put them together.
Yep.
That makes sense to me.
We order all the lights and stuff through Harley, even though it's a third party wheel-in or something like that, or Code 3. I can't remember which one is on the new bikes, but that's all their stuff, basically. You're ordering a very itemized package of kind of how you want and how many lights you want and things like that. Because you can put them on the crash bars or you can not put them on the crash bar. We did that. And then one of the biggest things is the control clusters. On the control clusters on your left side, is a siren, little red, and I show this all in the video, but it's a red siren button, and that, you can do whelp and yell, wail and yelp and all that, yelp and wail, wail and yelp, and you can turn it on and off, and that's kind of at the very bottom. And then on the right side is another red one, and that's for your emergency lights, to turn your fronts on, your rear, or all the lights. So that's something notable that you'll know: 2 red emergency lights and emergency siren toggles, so to speak, on the right and left control cluster.
How long does it take to get to the point where you don't even have to look down to hit those things? Because there's enough controls already on a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about my Road Glide. I mean, I don't even really have to look down to work it anymore. I know when I switch to the new bike, I'm going to have to learn that bad boy because there's a lot of functionality on that. But now on the police bike, you've got these extra buttons. Do you look down at all, or you just know where they are and you hit them? It's just, you've done it so much that it's just muscle memory. I assume. But how long does it take?
It's a good question. It does become muscle memory. I would say I won't even do it by how long as just go out, and stop cars. I'd say after a couple hundred traffic stops and running code to some collisions,
it just becomes,
you just stop thinking about
memory.
It. Yeah, It becomes muscle memory. Great questions. So yeah, it does. I don't look, it has become muscle memory there. So that, now the,
Jake Moritz says, do not push the red button.
Yeah, no
that's
doubt,
the launch code.
Yeah, right.
Launch button.
Yep. No doubt. So that's kind of how they come set up. While we're talking about that, I will say, y'all know the police bikes come with a tractor seat. And a couple things on the tractor seat. That is from factory. That's how it comes. The tractor seat, I've talked about it before. In a nutshell, it pushes you up. It basically puts you in a more aggressive, proper riding position for the type of work we do. We're not out on the highway, kicked back with our feet up on highway pegs, pushing 500 miles for 10 days. Each day. That's not what this bike's set up for. We're very aggressive riding position. We're throwing this thing around. We're busting U-turns. We're riding through parks, chasing people, over curbs, bar lock turns, scraping floorboards, all that kind of stuff. And so that tractor seat is just phenomenal for that. It pushes you up over the tank, and I even have to choke up a bit. I suck up onto my tank because my arms aren't long enough so I can get the full bar lock. But the tractor seat makes it that much more. You're not sliding down and in. So I wouldn't want to ride it long distance. We do travel, 3 hours from Yakima to Spokane for like escort training each year. It sucks. It's a horrible seat for long distance touring. In my opinion, if you've ever used something, which we are carrying in the store now, guys, is we can get you any Saddleman seat you want. We have a couple on display up front. I'm running the road sofa on my Street Glide. Love my road sofa from Saddleman, and we can get you guys hooked up. So hit us up if you see any Saddleman seat that you want to get. Matt Lurch will help you over in the store, Oscar, contact form. But so something like my Saddleman or any other non-tractor seat, when I get on my personal Street Glide, I can definitely do the same maneuvers as on my police bike, but it's a lot more work. And I really it's hard for me because the tractor seat at least keeps me pushed up. It's level and forward. I'll sink back into my Saddleman. So I've got to fight to lock my knees up around the tank and keep more pressure on the bars to try to keep me held up there. Again, I can do it all, but it's not an optimal aggressive riding position. The Saddleman and most non-tractor seats are set up for touring, long distance touring. They're not set up for the best aggressive riding police position. So that's why they all come with the tractor seat. And somebody emailed us the other day while we're talking about it, Lurch, and asked, and I responded. I actually may have put it. I'll save the email. We'll read the email and it's fine. But he basically asked, hey, you have a quick change out. He wanted to ride a tractor seat for training and aggressive riding. And then he wanted to, a quick switch back to a Saddleman.
Which, we have a question in the private chat here. Which is perfect. Bob Dawson wants to know, does the tractor seat fit on a stock bike? And I think that's where you're going with this.
Yeah. It does if you get the conversion kit. Yep, it absolutely does. But what happens is because the tractor seat sits up on springs, you've got that whole open area on your bike. So there's some hardware that you need that you'll install. And then there's a big plastic piece that goes over and covers all your wiring and the battery compartment and all that. And so to piggyback off that, what the question was that we got emailed is there a system to switch that back and forth? You could. It's a lot of work. It's not something
not a quick change.
No, it's not a quick change. My other portion to that answer was I'm a little bit against training on something you're not riding on the street. It's basically like going to the range and shooting with a Glock 45, and then every day you're carrying a Smith & Wesson revolver. You should probably train with what you're going to actually use in a real world scenario, whether that be a gun or whether it be a seat. So I don't do that to my personal Street Glide. I got it. It sucks a little bit because it's just not as good as my police bike. But if I'm going to ride my personal bike, I need to train on my personal bike. So when I'm in those emergency situations, or I need to do a bar lock turn, I need to be able to do it on that bike without a tractor seat, because I ain't running my tractor seat on our 10-day trip this year. Ever. It's going to be my road sofa from Saddleman. All right. So hopefully that gives a little insight in that, but it was a good question and I get why somebody would want to do that, but I would technically advise against it.
I think that's good advice.
Okay.
Because you may develop muscle memory. And if you've been training aggressively with the tractor seat, now you go back to your road sofa, Mustang, whatever, your stock seat, you're going to want to do what you've been doing, what you've been training, and you're going to be in a different position. So seating position. So I agree. I think that's great advice. You should rung what you brung, practice on what you normally ride.
Yeah. Whenever I get back on my personal Street Glide, I'm always like, shit. And I'm going to do some bar locks. I'm like, I have to refigure it out a little bit because it's so different with the different positions and sitting lower and things like that. So good questions. And okay. Good point. Okay. Yeah. Bob's in there just monitoring chat. So let's talk about, we already talked about the emergency lights and siren system. That's good. So let's move into communication systems. So one of the other things, the way there's so many different systems that you guys that departments can use when it comes to communications with your dispatch center. Now, some departments, which down in Tri-Cities, those guys down in Kennewick, they don't put a mobile car radio in their bikes. We actually fit a mobile large, you guys have seen them in patrol cars. We take that same head unit, and when you get an Electroglide, whether it's civilian or police, the basic Electroglide standard, you'll note that there's no stereo or infotainment control unit in it. It's just a big, large glove box. You can just stuff gloves or whatever down in there. It's a void. That's where we put our head unit for our radio, our department. Some do not do that. Some just work off their portables. And then some have like a deal in their trunk which I like, that I believe when they get off their bike and kickstand it, then it's some sort of unit that boosts their a repeater basically. Yeah. I like that system. Because the radio takes up a lot, and we've had a lot of issues with them, with the head unit. So we do the head unit. The other thing is, we have a helmet on, and, we have our lapel mic, but we're not going to necessarily, grab our lapel mic and try to, that's no good. All right. So our helmet has a human interface system, which is just like you guys use, like Cardo Cardo or Sena that we sell in the store. The microphone here, and you've got speakers, right? So that has to get to the radio, right? So the way our department does it is we actually have a cord that hangs off our helmet, and it plugs into the lapel mic. It clicks in and snaps in place. So the human interface portion of my helmet is clicked into this, which this lapel then has a cord that goes to my portable radio on my hip. So it's a pretty cool system in theory. But so this lapel mic, because I'm plugged into it, it is Bluetooth. And it Bluetooths to my head unit. All right. So when I'm on my bike with the kickstand up, riding down the road, although this is all an interface and my helmet, I'm actually, there's two buttons that part of this system is below that left control cluster siren button is two buttons, a red one and a black one. The black one keys up to talk on the radio to my dispatch. The red one is the PA system. The bike has a siren. It has a PA system where I can,
hey, you pull over.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy day. That's what I do. I just ride around town. I love telling the kids. Anyways, so when I'm on the bike, kickstand up riding, this is Bluetoothing to the radio, and I'm not touching anything here. I'm literally just hitting the radio button on my control clusters, and clutching or whatever. That's also a very learned skill.
Yeah.
Is to not only clutch, but have my thumb touching a button and talking to radio while I'm turning into a parking lot or down an alley and people are doing all kinds of weird stuff to stop and you're trying to clutch your bike. You actually forget you're even doing it. It's really, when you're first a motors officer, it's horrible. You pretty much just clutch and you're like, I can't talk right now, and then you try to talk and then you try to clutch and then you just learn you can do it all. You can literally do bar lock turns while you're talking on the radio. So you get very accustomed to that. So that is how the head unit works. Now, on our kickstand is a little box up front off the crash bars, and it has a little metal spring tab on it. So when the bike's up, you guys know that little lobe that for your kickstand, that little lobe that locks the kickstand in place, it's pushing on that. When the kickstand's up, it's pushing on that spring, pressing in on a little computer box, telling it, hey, make sure Bluetooth that you go through the radio. He's on the bike. Make sure, because they're much more powerful. Portables are horribly not powerful, so you can't get out as much in different places at all.
Which is why some departments, sheriff's departments or state agencies that have bigger territory or mountainous territory tend to go with a on the bike type system like you have, just because it's stronger. If you're just using your portable, you need to be in an area that either you have a lot of
or a good radio system, or
radio system, flat land. So there's some, geographic reasons that you'd probably want to use a bike mounted radio versus just your portable radio.
Our city's horrible. It's been broken for 15 years and they can't get the grants and the funding to upgrade it. They're buying stuff. They don't even make half the stuff for our radio system anymore. So they have to buy sourced used. It's horrible. It's a thing that unions it's horrible. So it is good that we have the mobile units. So back to the box and the spring. So the kickstand's up. It's telling me, hey, go through that. As soon as I kickstand the bike, it takes that tab and now the spring's loose. So the button's not pushed in, and it immediately tells this, hey, you're on portable now. So do not go to the bike, because I'm walking away from the bike and I'm going to go up to a car or in a house or whatever. Then it just goes back. If it's plugged in, I can still hear everything, human interface, and I just talk on it like a regular portable radio. So that's how we did it. Again, there's a lot of different, let me make sure this call isn't important. A lot of different departments do it different ways, but that's what it's called, a PVP system. It's a company. They're a little bit outdated. I'll just say that, whatever. That's what we're using. I would probably revamp our entire system.
Of course you would. But you're the high-tech redneck.
Yes. But that is what I'm told to use, and so that's what I use. So that tells you a little bit about the communication systems, and then we got some more stuff to talk about, and we are monitoring chat. We appreciate you guys. Make sure anybody else has jumped in here. All right, let's do this.
Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has products that you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
Yeah, and Zero soon, guys. I can't wait. They're working on all the new stuff, specifically a lot of lighting for the new 23.5, 24 and newer, basically. A Road Glide and Street Glide with the fairing redesign, and I am super stoked because I can't wait to get my hands, because it's Zero stuff, and it's going to be high quality. And they're pretty innovative, and just to kind of see what they come up with. I'm really hoping they come up with, the rear lights now. They're the long lights there. Although they look good, decent stock, they have no functionality. So I know, I haven't been told this by Zero, okay, but I do believe they're going to have complete replacements for those with light strike technology, so I can program those, and I'm sure they're going to change the look of them and make them look even a little better.
Yeah, that rear end is ripe for making better. The license plate holder and license plate light's kind of clunky, and so there's a lot of opportunity there to really beautify the back of that bike and make the lighting better, and also add that light strike to it. And something as simple as the bag blades, add the bag blades to them. The biggest thing is they got to crack the system. This new CAN bus is a little bit different. So Harley's made it harder to crack. So a lot of people, Vance and Hines, are all working on trying to crack that thing.
Yep. And I will note that Lurch said the rear end is ripe. The last time Lurch had a riper end was somewhere around the age 16. And that's questionable. All right.
I don't know what you're referring to. I do, I love that you entertain yourself. I was editing a podcast yesterday down at the store, and you were doing some video editing. All of a sudden, you just start laughing because you hear yourself make a joke like that, and you still laugh at it. I'm glad at a minimum you're entertaining yourself.
Oh, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. I'm sure there's one patron member or something out there that finds me funny. Okay.
There's got to be one.
There's got to be at least one. All right. That's my dream. This is really small font. We can just get that bigger so we can go through this. All right. So where were we? All right. So the custom department setup part. So we've kind of to the point, I guess, where we've talked about, how it comes from the factory, so to speak. The new bigger trunk, I will say that if you guys saw my previous 18 Street Glide and even my 13, for a lot of years, you could either get the smaller mid-sized trunk or you could get the large regular, what we see on Electra Glide or, Ultras and things like that. They stopped making that smaller trunk. Thank the Lord. Some guys liked them. I hated them. Last time we got our bikes.
That seemed to be the standard for police bikes, was that smaller trunk.
Except for like Seattle PD for years.
Did they use the big
ones?
All
using the big ones. Yep. Okay. There's a bunch of other PDs that were using, especially.
Seems like I usually saw the small ones.
I know, around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just in my travels when I was a copper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably true. For whatever reason, I always wanted the bigger trunk. It was, what do you say? It's like those small trunks was like cramming
10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack.
Yeah. 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack. And it just didn't work. We can't fit any of our personal gear in those trunks. So the bigger one, it's just a lot more room to breathe, and you can position things better, such as computer dock. This is what you get the bikes. So while I'm mentioning some of the items in the trunk, it's what we had the third-party distributor put in to make them ours before they were ready for patrol. So in there, you've got your computer, you've got your computer dock, you've got your printer. We've got a thermal printer in there. You've got your modem. You've got a second battery. And then, of course, the battery isolator stuff. And then you've got all the emergency lights that were already installed around the trunk. Before they even went in and started putting this stuff, when you get it from Lacey, from the dealership, you open the trunk, remember, there's just a shitload of wires already just laying there. It's all the lighting stuff. So trying to fit this all in that trunk and then also keep things so they can breathe a little bit. We have a modem, and then on the rear, there's a plate where the radio antenna is that comes off the trunk, but there's also a GPS unit right there. It's a lot. It's a lot. So the fact that we ever fit it in those old ones, and we were always having problems. And if you needed to fix something, you had to like gut stuff and take stuff out to try to get and you got to imagine, modems were not made. We ride, some days I rode is like 110, 115 degrees here in Yakima in the summer. And that trunk is like 160 degrees, so hot that there was times where when I would stop somebody or go to an accident and I'd have to lift that laptop and type, it burnt my fingertips.
Jeez.
So this equipment just was, who made a modem? And so we had modems go out all the time. And, some of this, it was amazing. The laptops actually did it pretty well, other than you couldn't touch them because they were so hot. But having the bigger trunk, super nice. Still doesn't help me any. You can't keep any of your personal stuff in it because there's just no room. It's taken up by technology. I'm trying to think, that extra battery in there, obviously trying to run the lights and all that. And then all your equipment back there is just way too much on one battery. Your bike would never start. It would drain it. So it isolates it. And the stuff in the trunk is run by the battery. Of course, the bike regular battery, sends it, the charging system sends it through. So it keeps that battery charged too. And then we have a plug-in in the trunk, which is shore power. So, like at night, I always plug the trunk in just to top that battery off for all the electronics, just to make sure it was always topped off. So that's in there too. So a lot of stuff going on there. Now, some of the other things, aside from everything in the trunk that we need for daily activities, is we did put a stalker radar system, believe it or not, on these bikes. They did a really good job with that third-party vendor. Obviously, we provided the radars. But on the dash, you'll see in that video is, or off to the side, is left control cluster is the stalker radar screen. And then we put a front antenna and a rear antenna, so I can shoot both ways. Little antenna on the front crash bar, and then they made a mount for where the radio antenna is and the GPS unit on the back. For the back, that was pretty cool. And then your buttons are up there too. No, the buttons are on the left screen. The radar, the stalker display screen was right in front of us in the windshield. Yeah, we had them put it there so we never had to look down. And then so you could turn the radar on and off. On the left side is where your buttons, and you could change it from rear to front
more
antenna.
Buttons to play with.
More buttons. Yeah, exactly, dude. God. Exactly. A lot of stuff on these bikes, for sure. And so we had them do that. We did have them do a little bit. You can choose your windshield. I just opted for a 12-inch Harley OEM. Obviously, I'd put a lot of aftermarket stuff, guys. I wouldn't go with a Harley. I would grab, we sell Clockworks, F4 Customs in the Law Abiding Biker store. That's what I'm going to be putting on mine. Just been a little bit till Clockworks could get windshields out, right?
Yeah, they.
So we've been waiting.
Yeah, they did something a little bit different with the new bike design. They were only releasing the shields through their website. They were selling them directly. They weren't getting them out to distributors. So they're finally getting out to distributors, and we're starting to add them into the store. There's some stuff in there, and I'm constantly checking to see as it comes available. I'll be adding it in there.
Great. So that, but these are department bikes, government. They want to stick with OEM stuff for the most part, which they didn't on everything, but a lot of it was what I was donated. So,
yeah.
I'm not going to donate OEM stuff. I'm donating stuff from my store.
Yeah. And they're not going to turn away the free stuff, right?
Right. Exactly. Of course not. Government turn away free stuff. Heck no. So Jake Moritz asks a great question in the patron member live chat. He says, what's your guess on the weight of everything with the battery, computer, etc.? Does it make it feel top heavy? Bit over 1,000 pounds on that bike, and
the bike itself and everything.
Everything on it. Yep, and geared up and everything, because we got stuff in the saddlebags too. But that's where a lot of my personal gear goes. But so like probably over 1,000 pounds, because this lift, it's that's capacity.
Right.
When we're on the lift, lifting it up. And as far as top heavy, absolutely, it's weirdest thing. But there is no difference in how that bike handles or feels top heavy. And even some guys, some people have some weird premonitions when they train, or they come out when I'm training guys, they try to come out with just a quarter tank of gas or a half tank of gas. I'm like, it makes no difference. I've ridden with a full tank. I've ridden with a half tank. It feels no different. I can't do the course any faster with a quarter tank than I can full. It's weird. But it's a great question. It still baffles me that it really doesn't feel any different or make it any more difficult to control than my personal. And maybe that's just because it's set up better in the tractor seat and everything, in combination. But yeah, great freaking question. And in the chat, I appreciate that. Yeah. Tony Corbett says, Ryan, weren't you nut to butts with Lurch in Death Valley?
Death Valley.
Yes, we were. Remember? I rode on the back of your bike. It's in the documentary film.
That's
you
right.
rode me from the cafe back to the houses. Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Still a fond memory of mine. I try to relive it as much as I can. I actually we rode nuts to butts again a month ago.
Here. Yeah. Taking your bike in to drop it off for some warranty stuff.
Yeah, for a warranty thing. And I rode with Lurch. He rode me back to the dealership, and I'm not going to lie to you. I gave a little rub.
You dry humped me.
You did. You got mad.
Of course I did. You idiot.
I love you, Lurch. I just wanted to give you a little rub, with the tip, just the tip.
You're lucky I kept it going straight.
Yeah, it's true. That's right. I think I did a little short on that. Yeah.
Yes,
I did a little
did.
Instagram post of us on the bike. So yeah, over at Law Abiding Biker.
I should have made you sit on the seat backwards.
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. From now on, yeah, sit backwards. So I opted for the 12-inch Harley OEM, of course, because of that. Yeah. So that's kind of some of the main, and if I come up with anything else, we may get to this. We talked about the backrest, computer, yep, printer. Oh, the scanner's in that trunk too, because I got to scan, yep, all that. So now we've got a bit more to get into. It should be some fun stuff to talk about, and because we do have kind of a hard stop on this because I got to pick my daughter, but we got plenty of time still. So fear not.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps dampen those damn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they'll sure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. That's what you were laughing about.
I was just laughing because I was just reading
that commercial. Yeah. Well, no, yesterday that's the part I was talking about earlier where I was editing the audio and you started laughing. You're like, oh, it sounds funny on this end too.
That's right, dude. Oh, my ass loves those vibrations. Oh, it's fun every time. Lurch did crack a smile. He's been pretty good the last episodes.
It's because I looked at you. If I just look at the screen and ignore you, it's pretty good. I can do pretty good. But when I look at you, it's the look on your face. You're so satisfied with what you're doing. You just think you're so damn funny and so happy with yourself. I can't look at you. Kid. That's what makes me laugh.
I'm like a little kid. I can't help it. All right. So moving back and let's see. Moving back into the notes here. So why don't you, I've been talking a lot, quite honestly. Why don't you go, because you did the video with me and you've talked about all, these are what we're talking about, guys, to give you a heads up is, again, these are all things I've donated to the department over the years. I like to help, obviously. I own the store. I do like to give back for, obviously, first responders, near and dear to my heart. And so these are all things that are currently on, and the guys love these. The crew, my team loves these items and have kind of come accustomed to them. So they get a new bike, they want all these things on their bike. And then we put on these 23s, we actually put a few new things that we hadn't done before, just because they're different bikes and a little bit different setup. So what we're going to do now is go through Lurch's, and this is you, bro. Okay. I may jump in here and there, but
you will
talk about some of the, yeah, I feel obligated. If I don't talk, within a certain amount of time, I know you get worried. So Lurch is going to go through what we donated as a company and what we love on these bikes, which are also all awesome products you should be rocking. These are on my personal bike too. Yeah. So there you go.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of this stuff is on our personal bikes as well. But number one, first and foremost, is the Biker Gripper cell phone mount. Get that cell phone up on the handlebars where you can see it, where you can use it. You can use any case. You don't have to use some proprietary case like some of the other, all the other brands out there that I'm aware of. So you started using this on yours and showed the guys. They all wanted one, so you donated it to them. And then it's starting to catch on. The county guys, one in particular, well, both of them, a couple of them came into the store this summer and bought Biker Grippers, and they're on BMWs, so they had to get creative to mount theirs. Oh, which reminds me, we do have some new mounting solutions for the bikes. We've got some single pin mounts that you can mount them to a bolt, 6, 8, or 10 millimeter. So getting some more mounts for you. But that is by far the number one thing that we put on not just the police bikes, but our own bikes. In addition to that, as a cereal cup holder, you got to have your coffee. I mean, us as normal riders out there need some water, on a hot day to keep hydrated. We need our coffee in the morning, but motors, guys, you got to have your coffee, right, every day. So I would say those are the first two things that go on every one of your guys' police bikes. And your agency is pretty progressive in that they let you put that stuff on. Some agencies...
Previous years they didn't, remember?
A lot of times it has to do with administration and whatnot. Yep. And because there was...
Well, I had to do a memo, even to get the Biker Grippers. It was that was previous administration.
And because the old school way of thought was they all need to be the same, so that if I jump on this bike or that bike, same with the cars. I mean, I work for the State Patrol. We were paramilitary. All our stuff was supposed to be exactly the same, so that muscle memory kicked in.
You're supposed to do a memo, right?
Yeah, you'd have
a memo and get approval, right? We were that way for a while too. Oh, horrible.
And then it got to a point where there were some things they just allowed, but,
right?
So cereal cup
back
holder.
To the
Go ahead.
Just to capitalize on the cup holder. Yes, coffee, very important. On the civilian side, I've talked about it before. Riding 10 days, 400 or 500 miles a day. Staying awake is huge, but also staying hydrated, both on the police bike, because I'm in twice the amount of gear, a Kevlar vest and uniforms and belts and in 115 degrees, stopping cars in a city environment. You want to talk about just being soaking wet. If you don't stay hydrated, if you get behind that, you'll only do that once and you'll never get behind on hydration again. So having water there or on a long distance trip, staying hydrated. We've ridden in those temps, touring too. That's the other huge. Coffee important in the morning, and then transitioning to get ahead of the dehydration game is super important. So I'm surprised how many guys ride without having like accessible water right there.
I did it for a long time.
Yeah,
and
it's true. I guess. Yeah.
I just remember being parched because we're riding, especially after, if we had a late evening, and we're up in the morning going and it's hot. I remember, to the point where I had like no spit left in my mouth. And then I'd look over at you guys with your cup holders and your modular helmets having a sip. And I thought, okay, I got to just finally break down and put one on my bike. It's nice to have.
Yep.
It really is.
Very good.
So then the next thing is the adjustable PSR levers. You were using a different brand in the past, but we were able to finally find some that are designed here in the U.S. And it's a company out of California. They've been great to deal with. PSR.
They CNC them right in California.
Yes, they make them right here. So what's cool about these are you can really customize where your clutch engages, where your brake engages. There's plenty of different models. We've got the Journey model, which mimic the stock Harley levers. We've got the Anthem model, which is much more, it's a straighter, more streamlined look, a little more progressive. And then there's Anthem Pros, which have the most adjustability. They have an adjustable barrel instead of just a star clicker, if you will. It's much finer increments of, increase or decrease of moving the lever away from your grip. But also in addition to that, you can shorten or lengthen the lever, so you can run kind of like shorties if you want. If you put them all the way out, they're more like the stock length. And then you can actually adjust the angle in which the lever pulls back towards the grip. So, I think the stunt guys like that a lot. If you're standing and doing tricks, you can put those levers in a little bit different position. But they're not only great for just the hydraulic bikes, but they're also good for the clutch cable clutch bikes. I had a guy the other day ask me, he goes, maybe I'm missing something here. If I've got a cable clutch, can I just adjust the cable and get it to where I want to engage? Yeah, kind of. You can, but then it can get really sloppy. If you truly adjust your cable clutch the way it should be adjusted, it's about 1/8 or 1/4 inch of play. Now from there, you can really take that PSR, especially the Pro model, and adjust where you want that to engage. We put it on your 2024, which is a cable bike, adjusted it properly, and you were able to, it walked a little bit, but not much. You were able to get it pretty much just right off the handle. So a lot of adjustability there. And this is great it's great for normal riders, but these are great for professional riders and police riders because you can reduce a lot of hand fatigue. When you're constantly doing slow maneuvers and moving around, you're doing a lot of clutch and brake work. And so it just really makes it a lot easier for you to operate your motorcycle.
Yep. Well said. All available in the Law Body Biker store. Did you talk about colored ends?
No, we just got those in. Go ahead.
We just got, and 24s, guys, we were selling for the 24 and newer models. They are currently out of stock.
For a little while.
While.
Shouldn't be too long. We'll get some more coming.
But they're awesome. We are excited too while I'm on. So we have colored ends now, and I did a video on it on the YouTube channel, and we'll link to it in the show notes. As Lurch, when he's editing audio the other day, he's like, dang it, you keep telling me to do things during the podcast, and then he has to stop editing and actually go to the show notes and add the link that I wanted in the show notes. It's a funny bantering. We go back and forth. I've
learned to, my process is when I'm editing the audio, I'm writing the show notes so that when something like that pops up, I won't miss it. Yep.
Nice. So colored ends, so you can customize, and this is just for the Anthem Pro models.
That's correct.
Because they have the sliding ends to make them the length you want. And then the barrel adjuster, which obviously gives you a lot more adjustability, but you can also color that. And so we are very excited. And I went ahead the other day and we did install those. That video is coming too. We've got a video out. If you go to the product listing on the levers, it shows you how to install them on pre-24 bikes, but we just shot, and it's actually a video on how to install on the new 24 and newer with the whole control cluster redesign. And that video will be out soon on the YouTube channel, showing you how to do that. It'll be on the product listing too. It'll be embedded there, but we show you how to install the colored ends and the barrel adjuster. Very simple. And so those are over in the store. I went with gold. They pop. It's just a way to dress up your bike. And I really love the look of those levers, and I love them so much. I want people to know they're there rather than just blend in being black. So with those gold ends and gold barrel adjusters, you'll definitely know. They're silver, gold, red, silver,
blue, black.
And then we have black. They come with black, so you're going to have those anyways. But if you did drop and break one, we do at the end of your lever, we do have black ones, but they will come with black. And then you can order additional colored ends and barrel adjusters, or if you've already bought them in the past, of course, we have just an independent listing of the colored ends. You can grab them, and then, like I said, the video will show you how to get them on. And I am very pleased to announce, which we need to do that more often up front. We were going to do that. Is we're always building the store out and making it better for you guys, but there's costs involved in that. But we went ahead and took the leap, and it is implemented as of now. Finally, in the Law Abiding Biker store, there are out of stock notifications now. So we're so happy we worked on this week.
Back in stock notification.
Or what I say, out of stock, back in stock. It's same, yeah.
Same
out of
thing.
stock, it'll tell you when it's back in stock. But so we implemented that, hired some developers, and it's all working really well. So when you go to a product in the store and you click on a variant or the product or whatever, and it's out of stock, right over to the right side on mobile, it's there on your right side, or desktop, a big red bar pops up on the side of your screen that says notify me when back in stock. And you just hit that, it pops up. You can either enter your email address or your phone number, so you can get it via email or text, SMS. And then as soon as Lurch or Oscar, we get something back in stock and they list it back in stock in our website, bam. It takes about 4 minutes. We tested it the other day. Mm-hmm. Within about 4 minutes, you'll get an email or a text that it's back in stock, and with a link to take you directly to the product and purchase it. So we're super stoked. Again, these seem like simple things, guys, but when you run a website and a store, they're not. Everything costs money, and services cost money, and developers cost money. But it was on the to-do for like 2 years, and we finally implemented it. So take advantage of that. We used to old school try to keep a list and stuff. We did what we could to try to take care of our customers, but now this completely automates it, which gives us more time to do other important stuff, and it makes it convenient for you guys. Because some of our products, like shift linkage, they come, and when people know they're in stock,
they go quick.
They're gone, and you can't get them anywhere else. Same with colored PSR levers, the ends. We're having troubles with the red color. So if you get over to PSR colored ends and barrel adjusters and you click on red right now, I would get signed up for that if you want red, because as soon as those come in, the limited amount we get here and there, they're going to be out quick for other people that signed up for those emails. So you won't find those in stock anywhere else either, because we're all getting them from the same place. So we try to snag them up before everybody else, wholesalers, and get them for you guys. So, all right, moving on.
Some lighting to the back of the bike. Obviously, on any bike, being noticed is important, but especially if you're working traffic and you guys are pulling in behind people, they dynamite their brakes. You got to hit your brakes and pull over to the shoulder. You really want the people behind you to notice you. So we started out originally with the serial filler lights on your guys' bikes to add some lighting, and we used, I think, different companies' flashing box to make those flash. In addition to that, the serial Fang signal inserts, front and rear, they're LED and they're so much brighter. You can get them in different colors for the rear depending on your bike, meaning, is it run, turn, brake, or just a turn signal. And what's really exciting, this was a new product, and we added it after we'd already added the serial panel lights, but it's an Armor tail light. And it is a light that replaces on the electric glides and some of the other models that just have the old school square, if you will, brake light. And it has light strike in it. So you're able to add pulsating brake function. So when you hit the brakes, it'll flash. We've got yours, because you've already got enough lights on your bike, right? When your emergency lights are going, we don't want it to be too much. So we have a simple 3-burst pattern, if I remember right, when you touch your brakes.
Right.
And so it just very cool. It's good for any bike. I've got the Latitude tail light on the back of my bike with the light strike. It does the same thing. When you hit your brakes, you get like whatever pattern you choose, but it flashes. So it really gets attention. And then you can also have it where if you hold your brake down for more than 5 seconds, a pattern comes on as well. So really cool. Not just the Armor tail light for the electric glides is cool, but then we also have that Latitude one for other bikes as well. Great technology, much brighter. In fact, it comes with the Light Strike app, so you can adjust all those flash patterns and whatnot, but you can also adjust the brightness of it. And they're so bright, we actually have to adjust the brightness down a little bit. Great product.
Yeah, it is. And just to mention, whatever you're hearing here, this will all be linked in the show notes for you guys. So it'll make it easy to get through to what we're talking about. Moving on.
Yeah, that was all of them.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the last one. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'm trying to think, did we forget anything? See, not everything's listed there. So, I'm not sure why it's not. And then here, I see.
Oh,
we need to, that's not in the original article. So
that's because this was taken out of, from your transcript. Yeah. I forgot about those too.
And I did this, but I forgot to put a few things in there. So.
Or we may have added those after you had written the article.
Did you do this?
Oh no, I forgot that one.
Yeah. See, this is in the article. See,
there you go. So it's just a different section.
It split it up. So let's just make sure we go through and get the rest of the products.
So the adjustable brake pedal, huge, especially in law enforcement. You're on that tractor seat in particular, you're sitting up much more forward. And that brake pedal, I don't know what Harley was thinking in 2014 when they changed that brake pedal.
Smoking some doobie.
It must have been, but the brake pedal on the Rushmore, they brought it closer and higher, if that makes sense. So you have to really kind of, I'm trying to paint a picture here, but you have to move your foot out and back and get it up on top of the brake pedal. It's just not a natural motion. You know, in your car, you just reach forward and you hit your brake. It's just very natural. So these extended brake pedals, both Kuryakin and soft brake, move the pedal on bikes without fairings. So like your road glides and your street glides, it moves the brake pedal forward an inch and down about 20 degrees. And what that does for you is it puts your foot in a natural position where you just have to lift your toe, reach forward and hit the brake. So much more natural, so much more comfortable. But also when you're doing drills and slow maneuvers, you can cover that brake and be in a position where you don't cramp up. Great product. We've got Kuryakin and we've got soft brake. People ask, what's the difference between the two? The difference is just that the soft brake is made in the United States. It was designed
America.
Designed by the folks at Rick and Debbie that own soft brake. He designed it. He cuts them here in the U.S. He has them chromed out of California because that's where the good chromers are. There's not a whole lot of good chromers left. The guys that do his chroming have been around for a long time, so they're grandfathered into some stuff. It's a tough business to get into now with all the regulations. So he uses them out of California, but he's in Idaho, and he's got a powder coater there in Idaho that does his. So about $40 difference. It costs a little bit more, but made in the U.S. We were having issues with Kuryakin. I think we've mentioned in past podcasts that Kuryakin had been bought out a couple times, and the current company that owns them is still getting their stock in from the old owner. And it seems like they just all of a sudden will find 200-300 pedals somewhere, and they become available. So getting them has been a challenge, which made us go out and look for another
source,
option.
something else that we believed in, trusted.
Yeah. And you know what? And nothing against the Kuryakin stuff. We've used them for years. But I wish we would have found soft brake a little bit earlier, because they're just, they're in Idaho. They're our neighbors. It's US made. They're a small company like us. You call up soft brake and you get Rick, and he's out in his shop on his property making brake pedals. So, we'll carry both. And it just comes down to it. Sometimes it may just be what's available. There's no Kuryakin available right now. I got them on back order. But if it comes down to it and you're willing to spend the extra $40 to get a US pedal,
they are quality, guys.
Yeah, they are.
They're high quality. And, I'm all about American made, supporting America, small business, and, they're great folks. And, I didn't even bat an eye once I got their product in my hands and tested it and all that. My bike, switched out the Kuryakin, and I have a soft brake on it on my 24 Street Glide. So, great products. Great. That's why we have them in our store. We carry a lot of products, obviously, but anytime I can carry American made by American workers and American businesses and American factories, I am all in on that, as long as it's a quality product. And these definitely fit that description.
And then we've also added to yours the Innovative Solutions bag lid tether
Can't
bags.
go without these now, dude.
No.
Can't, on my personal or police bike. Once
awesome?
you get it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I used to dig around my saddlebags and lose shit, and I love them.
Yeah, we've got it replaces the tether that holds your lid from flopping all the way over. Yeah, simple 4 screws. Take it out, put the new one in. We've got single pouch and double pouch. I have one of each. I've got a single pouch on my left side, double pouch over on the right side. But they're great for things like keys, batteries, little tools, your registration. Small thing of Tylenol, stuff that you want to get to, but you want to dig to the bottom of your bag.
Keys, glass cleaners, and little microfiber cloths and cell phone cords. I'm just naming some of the stuff I carry in those things.
Mm-hmm. Great solution. Get that stuff up there where it's easy to get to, and they're inexpensive and a great thing to do to improve the storage on your bike.
And then you can also go beyond that and get the void ones, right?
Yeah, there's a 4-piece pouch.
Yeah.
They're designed for the older ones, but they will fit. We've tried
324, but they do fit.
They do fit, yeah. They fit in the bottom of your saddlebag and use the voids to store stuff.
Yeah. So just tying a few other things. They did let me do these bikes I've talked about in the past. Let me work on these bikes. And
yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Fun.
Yeah, I got to get in on that.
And so Lurch and I, back when we first got the bikes, and then they just sat, but we at least got to tune them up. And they did want to go with all OEM stuff, of course, but it's the first time in my department that they've ever let us mod by a stage 1. So we did, we bought them, obviously the department did, and then me and Lurch spent a couple days doing these bikes. And so they sound great. We did a Screaming Eagle intake and exhaust, and obviously
Street Cannon mufflers, if I remember
Street
right.
Cannon, you're right.
Yeah.
They sound really good.
They're not crazy loud and obnoxious, but they sound so much better than stock.
Especially once you break them in.
Yes, I've noticed that
a little bit. They're throaty, but they sound good for OEM stuff. I don't have any complaints on them. They look great. They sound great. And then we put obviously the intake, a stage 1 Screaming Eagle intake. And then of course we remapped it, and I would have went with the FP4, but they wanted to go all OEM since we were getting OEM exhaust and intake. They wanted to go with a Screaming Eagle tuner, EFI tuner. I had some experience with them before, we experienced them on this. It seems like we did it on another. Oh, I did it on my 24. But this was previous to that because the FP4 wasn't out for the 24. It still isn't.
No.
We'll be carrying as soon as it is. So you're stuck with Screaming Eagle. But we tuned them. We did an auto tune and mapped everything. They're running great. And I'm not a fan of the Screaming Eagle tuner because the app is horribly integrated. Me and Lurch had
it's clunky, doesn't work
clunky,
great.
locks up. We weren't sure if it tuned it. I had the same experience on my 24. Again, as soon as the FP4 comes out, we'll be carrying in the store from Vance and Hines, and I'll be getting rid of the Screaming Eagle, and I will be tuning with an FP4. It is so much more polished unit, and the app actually works, and just horribly clunky, the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle app. And trying to get those bikes tuned was a little bit of a bear, and I had to go out the next day and retune to make sure lock it up, and you remember all those issues. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I tell you this. Now, we appreciate our patron members so much. They're here, live video broadcast and chat, and we appreciate hanging with you here on this Friday afternoon. But we want to get to know you better. We want you to get you benefits like our patron members, but the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation. We never balk at a flat donation. And so we just want to thank a couple of the 3 people for their flat donations.
We'd like to thank Mary Ellen Kelly of Hollywood, Florida, Joseph Malachi, and John Ross of Santa Clara, California.
There you go. We appreciate it. lawabidingbiker.com/donate. That's /donate, or just go to lawabidingbiker.com. On the homepage, there's a large donate button. And we super appreciate that. And all the people that are already shopping in the store, but they leave a tip for us in the store. That is the most amazing thing. You're just like, wow. So not only purchase, but then leave us a small tip as a thanks. So we help a lot of people. We help you shop. If you have questions, we answer a lot of emails. It's a really custom experience. If you have any questions on what you're ordering, we're here to help you. And so the fact that you're like, hey, thanks for that extra help, and I want to support a bootstrap company of bikers trying to help bikers. They're just amazing people. It is the biker community. like I always say, which I'm just so happy to be a part of. So with that said, we really hope that you enjoyed the episode. It was kind of just a BS session, and I appreciate a lot of the chat and questions that came up and some of the funny comments. It's Friday, guys, here live at this time, and so I hope you all have a outstanding weekend planned for yourself. I hope it involves some sort of riding, whether that's street, adventure, dirt, whatever you're doing. At least you're getting your knees in the breeze. I don't even know what the weather's supposed to be like here this weekend. We rode last weekend. Oscar and I went to a training area and rode dirt bikes, so at least I got out. But I know
think it's going to be a little iffy.
I heard that somebody said on a text that it was possible snow on Saturday.
Oh, it could be. 89% chance of precipitation on Saturday with a low of 26, and 93% chance of precipitation on Sunday with a low of 33. So, yeah, we might get some.
Oh, Jake Moritz says in the chat, any guess on when you'll announce the next year's patron meetup? We
working on that.
It will be. We know where it's going to be. So since you asked, I will just tell you where it's going to be. Zero details. We're not doing the exact dates yet. All I'm going to tell you, it's going to be in Canada.
We're going to Canada.
Oh, Canada. Yep. It's been like 6 years.
It's been a while since we've been up there to visit our patrons up in Canada.
But we kind of know the dates, but I'm not going to throw it out there yet.
We're not 100% sure.
We're not 100% sure. So we are.
Summer.
Popeye's up there right now hunting, right?
I don't know if he's hunting in Canada, but
he's hunting with an uncle that just went to Canada and rode.
He's going to pick his brain.
I've got another friend that just rode last year. He works for Harley Davidson, and he rode, and I'm going to get his. We're dialing in the exact routes. That will be happening when Popeye gets back, and we will sit down for like a 12-hour day again, and we will map out our entire trip for the most part, and then I'll follow up on it. So I hope by December, early December, maybe sooner, we will announce the official dates, and we'll start this whole thing of the meetup and what we're going to do up there, and then we'll start reaching out to patron members up there to help us with the meetup. So exciting. It will be Canada again, and we're going to hit a lot of the areas that we missed last time. And it's been a while. The Canadians always come down here the last years, and so we got a lot of Canadian members, and we're gonna go ahead and branch out again and head up to Canada.
Yeah, Graham Jenkins is in the chat if he still is. He said he had crappy cell signal and might fade in and out, but he's from Canada up there, so I'm sure we'll be
nice.
talking to him and some of the other.
So it is official. That's where we're going, guys. That's all we can tell you right now. We'll be Canada, and it'll be some time around, the usual times that we do the meetups during good riding weather and things. But we'll get it to you as soon as we can. Stay in the private Facebook group because it'll probably be announced there even before it's announced on a podcast. But appreciate you guys being here. I ordered Lurch. We've worked our asses off all week, and before the podcast, I ordered him. We're done now. I'm ordering him to go home early and start his weekend.
Yeah, okay, if I have to.
It's a rough order to take, but
I'll probably still do some work anyways.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's how it always is, dude. Yeah, but at least you'll be at home with a beer in your hand, hopefully.
Well, maybe not a beer
or your penis. All right, we're out of here. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being in the live stream. I'm glad. Still excellent connection, and we got all of our tech stuff fixed. I got a few issues here, but that's different stuff. I was trying to share my screen with you guys earlier, and it was just a Google tab of some sort. So anyways, appreciate you guys being here. Love y'all. Thank you so much for being in the chat and being involved. And it's one of my favorite parts about doing this when I get time to sit down. I know it's been a while since we did a live video broadcast and chat. We had a huge,
more of these.
We will definitely be doing more. There was we were really busy and had a bunch of business stuff going on that really put us from doing lives, but we're back and we're going to be doing those. And I know you guys enjoy them too. So look forward to more. We're going to go ahead and end the stream, guys. Peace.